How's it going, everybody? It's Ryan back here in the kitchen. Welcome back to another episode of A Bite of Life. We're going to be doing a baked mac and cheese with three different cheeses. We're going to use some panko breadcrumbs as a topping. I'm going to show you everything that you're going to need for this. So for the cheese, you can kind of alter this to your preference. I'm going to be using some smoked Gruyere, some aged yellow cheddar, and I'm going to grate a little bit of Parmesan cheese into the panko breadcrumbs at the end. So you can change these to your preference. The only thing is you want to yield about 3 cups for the actual dish that you're baking, and then a little bit of leftover cheese for the topping. So you just want to keep that in mind. You want to just yield 3 cups of cheese. Other ingredients you're going to need: butter. We're going to use butter to make the roux. All-purpose flour also for the roux. And we're also going to use some butter to mix with the panko breadcrumbs as the topping at the end. We're going to use a little bit of Tabasco, some paprika, 1/2 of a white onion cut up pretty fine, 3 cups of milk, 1 egg. For the pasta, we're using penne. You can use whatever you want. You can just use the traditional shells if you'd like. I'm using penne today. So other than that, panko breadcrumbs, Dutch oven, a nice Dutch oven, or you can use just like a pot, a punch of sea salt. There we go. 1 pound of pasta. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and grate our cheese. Okay, so this pasta's been going about 10 minutes. You want to get it before al dente because you're going to be baking it for 30 minutes. So don't cook it too much. So we're going to let that sit for a second, and we're going to start building our sauce for the mac and cheese. We are going to preset our oven to 350 degrees. I've got our Dutch oven on medium. First thing we're going to do, we're gonna do about 3 tablespoons. So that's about 1.5. Do another one of that. About 3 tablespoons of butter. So we're gonna make a roux here. So we're just going to stir it until the flour gets cooked out. Okay, so that's about good. Now we're going to do our 1/2 of a white onion. We cut it pretty small. It's like a small dice. This is going to make like a paste before we add the milk. So if it looks chunky, that's okay. A little bit of hot sauce. We're using Tabasco, maybe like a teaspoon. Teaspoon of paprika. Whisk this up. We're gonna add a little salt. Just about a pinch. We can check the sauce at the end. So now what we want to do is we want to add 3 cups of whole milk. This is cold whole milk, and you just want to slowly whisk this in. And then from the paste, you're going to be making a thin sauce again. Alright, so there's 1. We're gonna go 2. So just whisk real well when you're putting your milk in. You definitely want your milk to be cold. All right, 1 more. And we're gonna go slow again. So you don't have to put the hot sauce in there. It's not to make it hot. It's just to add flavor. So our oven's almost finished preheating to 350. Add a little more milk. So you just want to keep doing this, adding it a little at a time. You want to whisk out all the lumps. So now with the egg, what we're going to do is, if we put this egg into the hot mixture, it's going to turn into scrambled eggs. So what we're going to do is something called tempering the egg. This egg is going to add a lot of richness, a lot of creaminess to the mac and cheese. But what we're going to do is we're going to add some of this hot liquid into here until the egg thickens up. So it slowly warms up the egg. And you'll see it start to thicken. So, and then once it thickens, we can pour it into here and whisk it. And that way we don't have to worry about it turning into scrambled eggs. See, look how it's already starting to thicken. We're gonna put a little bit more in there. Put this hot bechamel base. There we go. So see how thick it got? So now, once it gets to this kind of thick consistency, buttery richness, now we can whisk it in. And now you definitely want to whisk it very vigorously. Very vigorously, just to incorporate that egg, that richness. So it just takes a little bit of practice. If you get this technique down with the 1 egg and tempering the egg, you'll really be happy with the result. Okay, so now we're gonna just fold in this cheese. But I'm just gonna add a little bit more pinch of some sea salt and some cracked black pepper. There we go. We're gonna incorporate this penne. This smells amazing already. All right, so once we get the macaroni and the cheese all incorporated, we're gonna pour it into, I was debating to put our panko and butter topping right on here, finish it in the oven, but I don't want it that deep. I want to have a nice crust on the top because I want it to be nice and crispy. So what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of divvy this up into a couple baking dishes. I actually don't have a huge baking dish at the moment, so I apologize for that. There we go. All right, so this is gonna be about a cup. So 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, and this is 3 tablespoons of butter that we mixed, or that we heated up, that we melted. So just go right in there with your hands. So just get all that buttery richness all over this panko topping. So once we bake this in the oven, it's gonna be nice and crispy on the top, so you're gonna have a nice little crunch on the top. Okay. And then before we put this in the oven, we got our panko on there, our butter. We're gonna add a little bit more cheese on the top, just so it gets nice and bubbly. And like I promised, our Parmesan. So we don't need a lot. Just a little bit to get incorporated with the panko breadcrumbs. There we go. Now we're gonna put it in the oven, 30 minutes, 350. All right, so it's been 30 minutes on 350. A little brownness on there, on that mac and cheese. All right, we're gonna cut a good sized piece here, just to sample it and make a thumbnail. Okay, so this is the final little plating. Get it right in there. I think you want that bite maybe. It's really, really delicious. Nice crispiness, buttery, crispy topping from the panko. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you get a chance to try it, let us know in the comment section how it turned out. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great night.